All right, we are live. Let me go to YouTube make sure that we are set and everything. So, what have y'all been up to lately?
Just hanging out.
Same old, to be honest.
All right, we are live right now.
Same old, to be
Yep,
honest.
yep. All right, we're live. We're set. All right, so what we're gonna be doing right now is we're gonna be talking about current events happening, just things happening in the world right now, and then I got some Q&A questions on my phone that some people on Snapchat and Instagram asked me. So we're gonna start with that. So I guess the first thing I'll start out with is how y'all feel about Amy Coney Barrett and her. She's been confirmed to the court. She's gonna be sworn in, or she has been.
Oh, you want to take that one first?
Sure. I mean, I feel good about it. I know there are a lot of conservatives who had their disagreements with it, right? There were plenty. Most people wanted her to be confirmed, but then there were a handful of people who said that it was somewhat hypocritical, like of Republicans or Donald Trump, or whatever. I know my boy
Yeah,
Matt
I saw that.
Politics. He was like, he basically admitted to it being hypocritical. And
Yeah.
I thought, regardless of even if it was hypocritical, that was something that needed to, be done. That's part of your job is filling that seat. And I would have wanted it to be done regardless. And I mean, I can understand the opposition to it from like Democrats too. In principle, you would want the job to be done right if we're not being hypocritical. But I could also understand Democrats saying, this is gonna, basically be bad for us all together, and throwing the tantrum that they did. Because I wouldn't want like another leftist judge, but it's up to
Yeah.
the president, so I feel good about it.
Yeah. Jackson, you want to go?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, definitely. So I also feel good about it with Owen as well. I think it was smart that we had Obama say his presidential term that presidents don't work for 3.5 years; they work for 4. And I think that's what we've been able to use for our advantage. And I agree with that. I definitely think President Trump should be able to fill that seat because he does work for 4 years. And the people who were elected in the Senate were elected by the people of the United States. So if the Republicans hold the majority in the Senate, then they should have the right to confirm Amy Coney Barrett. And then, too, I think I agree with Amy Coney Barrett getting elected. I think we should move back away from simple majority, though, and try to reverse simple majority because I think it brings people across the aisle to start talking together and like working together to confirm a judge. So I wouldn't be opposed to going back to the 60 votes that sorry, excuse me, I'll be able to be on the Supreme Court.
All right, so here's kind of like my stances on it. So obviously, we're all Christian conservatives in here. So I mean, Amy Coney Barrett, in my opinion, she's amazing. I think she's done really well. I think the way that the mainstream media has tried to project her to the public is disgusting. I know that she said the mainstream media said that she's using the 2 kids she adopted as props to get put in the Senate. I just think it's absolutely disgusting. I think the way that she walked in that Supreme Court and did all of her hearings with no notes, and when they asked her what her notes was, she just said what the title said, and she said, "I've got no notes." I think that's insane. I think she's going to be doing amazing things. I think she's really good. I'm excited to see what's coming for the future. So, yeah.
Yeah, she's incredibly smart. I think even the professor that oversaw her studies, and I think it was at graduate level too in law school. I could be incorrect. Said that she was like one of the brightest students they had ever taught. I don't know if y'all saw that quote.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I mean, I believe it. The fact that she did all of her hearings with no notes, that's awesome.
Yeah, incredible.
So, all right. So, what do y'all think the chances of Roe v. Wade being overturned are now that the Supreme Court's majority Republican or conservative?
Jackson, I think he might be frozen. I'm not sure.
He's
Um,
glitching out.
Personally, I'm not sure. I think if it comes back up, which there's what, one or two abortion cases that Supreme Court is supposed to be seeing soon.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure what the ramifications of those could be and how far.
All right, my bad. So I was just saying. I think that it'll be fairly actually a lot easier than it normally would be to overturn Roe v. Wade. I think they're going to be able to get certain aspects of it overturned, and I agree with that. I definitely think we should overturn Roe v. Wade. That's my stance on it. And I think with the addition of Amy Coney Barrett, it'll be a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Owen, you want to take away back what you were saying?
Oh yeah, I was just saying I didn't know what that looked like going forward, because there are some people who are saying, it's not going to get overturned regardless. Then most of us as conservatives are like, that's our big hope, right? That'll probably be the biggest thing that we could get out of Amy Coney Barrett being selected. That, and then hopefully the Supreme Court will see one of these gun control cases and not just knock them off to the side like they did with like the other 14 or so that they saw this year because of the pandemic. So I hope that Roe v. Wade gets overturned. I'm not sure what the likelihood of that is, because it's not just like one case. The way that cases exist in our system, there's like hierarchies, the way that the rulings are laid out. So there's other ones I believe that they have to overturn as well. Again, I could be wrong, but that's just like to my knowledge. But I think this is the most potential we've ever had.
So here's how I see it. So obviously, I would love for Roe v. Wade to be overturned. Like that would be amazing. Abortion is absolutely disgusting. I mean, in the eyes of the Lord, it's an abomination. So, I mean, it's complete and utterly disgusting. But here's how I truly see it. I think the Republican Party has had so many chances to overturn Roe v. Wade. I feel like at this point they could use it as a political tactic if they want to, because there are so many people who associate themselves socially with the left, but they're pro-life because of their religion, and they only vote for the pro-life candidates just because they are pro-life. I feel like the Republican Party wants it to be like that. Sometimes. That's just sometimes how I see it. You know what I'm saying? I think right now we have the most potential to see Roe v. Wade be overturned out of anyone. I think it could happen, and that's my hope for it to happen. If we're going to look back at what has happened in the past, there have been plenty of opportunities for Roe v. Wade to be overturned, and it just hasn't happened.
Yeah, this is definitely the time for it. If you look at how radical the left has sort of gotten with it, wasn't the old Democrat slogan like "safe, legal, and rare"? If I remember correctly. But this year, if not this year, it was last year. I'm almost certain it was this year. We were seeing Democrats celebrating like up till birth, like either abortions or if the baby was alive after it was aborted.
Yeah, a failed abortion.
They could carry out the abortion still.
The Virginia governor endorsed it.
Yeah, so I mean, we had all types of stuff going on, lining up with the Empire State Building, if I remember correctly, in support of one of those laws. I mean, some wicked stuff. So I believe that is definitely going to motivate this court.
Oh, it's complete evil at this point. And I just find it absolutely disgusting. Some of the things Democrats stand for, and one thing I always hear is Kamala Harris is like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are like capitalists and stuff like this. Kamala Harris on the spectrum is far more left than Bernie Sanders.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Is Jackson good? Jackson, you there?
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
I think I'm in and out here with my Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, anytime we can slip a word in from you or anything like that, we'll just get you to say something anytime you're not glitching out. So, what were you talking about? Oh, so one thing I've heard from Democrats lately is like recently that they've told me, they say with Amy Coney Barrett coming in, like
Right.
not even just Democrats.
All right.
What, Jackson? It's not even just Democrats though saying, it's just some of my friends who find themselves as independents. They think gay marriage is going to be overturned. So I don't I obviously as
Yeah,
a
I'm
Christian obviously as a Christian, I believe homosexuality is a sin. But my stances on it is, I mean, there's no way Amy Coney Barrett decides that gay marriage gets taken away and overturned. There's too much controversy around it. There's just no way you do it. I mean, obviously they should have the same human rights as everyone else. I mean, I don't see how they could do it.
Yeah, I don't see. Oh, we lost Jackson.
Yeah, I think he left. I think he's gonna reconnect and join back.
Yeah, I don't see that happening at
No.
all. And I'm like, what stance would they, be able to overturn that? I don't even know what that was ruled on, but I'd assume like right to privacy.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, so here, Jackson's back. I'm gonna add him to the stream. Hey, what's good? Hey,
I apologize. Should be
you're
fixed.
good. You're good. Yeah, you're better now. All right, so what we're talking about now is I've had independents and Democrats tell me that they think Amy Coney Barrett's going to be the deciding factor on if gay marriage gets overturned, and I find that completely wrong. I don't think there's any way gay marriage gets overturned. I think their only
I
reasoning
don't think it
behind
will
it.
either.
Yeah, I think their only reasoning behind that is because they think it will get overturned because Amy Coney Barrett claims to be a Christian. But I mean, you look at Trump and Pence; they both claim to be Christians. They haven't taken away gay, or they haven't advocated for taking away gay marriage. So I mean,
Yeah, that sounds like fear mongering to be honest.
Yeah.
it is. They're trying to because obviously these swing states that matter, especially in swing states, I think they're trying to get people in swing states to switch their vote to other people for reasons of fear mongering. So, Jackson, do you have any words on it?
Yeah, I don't think it'll get overturned. I mean, if it doesn't get overturned, it's not something that I necessarily want to see happen. I believe that doesn't necessarily have the right to tell people they can and can't marry. And I think, as if we disagree with it as Christians, it's not our problem to restrict somebody else from doing that. It may be a sin in our eyes, but I don't believe that the government has the right to take that right away from anyone else. So I don't necessarily think it'll get in. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I mean, I believe in separation of church and state. And as a Christian, I mean, I'm going to be a missionary. I'm going to let people know the truth. I mean, it's not like I can make people become a Christian because it's God that does that. But what I'm obviously going to be out here to do is I'm not going to tell them a lie. Like the Bible is okay with homosexuality and stuff like that because the Bible is against it. But I'm not going to treat them any less of a human just because they are that way. I mean, that's what the Bible is completely against. The Bible is absolutely against hate in all forms. He wants us to share it with love. It's in Jeremiah 6:1, I believe. I may be wrong on that though. So.
Yeah, I don't have it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I've had to. I mean, I've posted some very controversial videos about how I feel in the action of homosexuality, so I've got to have these verses ready. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
I can get pretty controversial on TikTok at times. I feel like we all can, though. When Jackson called out the progressive Christians and tagged them and said, "This you."
Oh, you sure did do that, didn't you?
I did. Yep.
Man.
Dude.
I did, yeah. And then somebody duetted me, and I had to back explaining that. So. Yeah.
The things these progressive Christians stand for is they believe that the Bible is a changing document, which it's not. It's a conserved document. It's God's word. You don't just change God's word.
Well, and the other problem with that too is that they also believe that they were stories that were meant to teach us a lesson, even though these events actually happened.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And it's an abomination to the Lord what they're committing. I believe false teachings of the Lord. I mean, false teachings. If you die a false teacher, it's uncondemnable because it means you died not fully understanding the word of the Lord. Like y'all know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so the things they're teaching is not only is homosexuality okay with the Bible, they're also teaching things like the Bible is pro-choice. That is wrong, so wrong. you got to look at verses
Yeah,
like
very wrong.
you got to look at verses like Jeremiah 1:5, the 10 Commandments, Proverbs 6:16 through 19. I mean, the Bible is obviously against abortion. They bring up Genesis 2:7, but Genesis 2:7 is talking about how God breathed life into Adam. Never
Yeah,
said
that one's always so funny. I never understood why people use that. You know,
Yeah, man,
it makes no sense.
it's so crazy. Just some of the things that they come up with. Like sometimes I just don't get it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
If
That's
y'all
probably one
want,
of the biggest battles of our like generation right now. It's not just progressive nature and Christianity, but in like our culture as a whole. And that sounds bad, I guess, on the surface to say progression is a problem in our culture, but it's progression from the right things, I guess you could say, or movement from the right things. Same with Christianity, and same with like just moral values at all. This culture doesn't really believe in right and wrong in the way that it should. You know, they don't believe that some cultures are better than others, and then they believe that you should just do whatever makes you happy. Some real problematic stuff. Real problematic stuff.
man, if I did whatever made me happy, I would be in a bad place right now.
Oh, me too. Me too. All of us.
Yeah. Jackson, do you have anything to say about that? Anything to cover up on this?
I like about the Bible and pro-choice. I mean, I definitely think that there's no verse now that speaks to pro-choice, and I don't understand. I think where there's a lot of pro-choice Christians, like where they're getting it wrong is that they're misinterpreting scripture, and they're not taking it into full context of what God is talking about.
Yeah, I mean, one of the most controversial videos I've ever posted on TikTok is you can't. I straight up said I don't believe you can be a Christian and be pro-choice. Because I mean, it's completely against God's word, and obviously there's some people who disagreed with that. I had like 30 people make a video about that video. It was crazy. It was crazy, man. I got so much hate through it, like in DMs. That's when I got because I have like 20 something death threats. That's when I got a huge chunk of my death threats through talking about that video. And the common thing that I got was Genesis 2:7, and the thing I'm trying to talk about here is it's not talking about life starting at breath. It's talking about how God in creation of Adam breathed life into Adam. I mean, and then they always ask me, what verses do you have to back up the pro-life claim? Well, you got to look at things like Jeremiah 1:5, where the Bible says, before I knew you, you were, I knew you when you were in the womb, and before you were born, I set you as a prophet amongst nations. And then Proverbs 6:16 through 19, you look at that, and it says there are 6 things Lords hate, 7 things Lords hate, 6 of them are an abomination. Shedding of innocent blood is one of them. So it's just things like that. So if y'all want, we can go ahead and get into the Q&A.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
All right, bet. All right, so here's the first question I got. What's your opinion on the whole Joe/Hunter Biden, China, Ukraine, and Russia topic?
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Jackson?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I think, I believe it was last night, Tucker Carlson had an interview with their business partner who has come out and said that there were illegal business dealings that have been done, and that Jim Biden and Hunter Biden, Jim Biden, the brother of Joe Biden, have been getting lucrative deals and get different foreign countries, different foreign business options. I think that this will come more into the public eye, and I think Hunter will be prosecuted.
Yeah, I think he should. I agree. Owen, you got any follow-ups on that?
Yeah, when I look at it, I mean, it all seems mad sketch, incredibly sketch too, and is incredibly hypocritical as well. We saw this on the debate stage. Joe Biden tried to say that Trump was in cahoots with Russia, when literally, or Russia, Ukraine. I think he just limited to Russia. When literally Biden is the one whose entire family is involved in all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
earlier this year, the call came out earlier, but I remember people were talking about it in like Spygate, or some people were calling it Obamagate, like Biden being on all types of mad phone calls with Ukraine and like apparently bribing them in concerns to Hunter, just like some weird mess, very sketch mess. Of course, Scott Spygate dealing more so with them trying to get like dirt on Trump, like spying on his campaign.
Mhm.
But it just really goes to show where the corruption lies, because they spent years trying to find something on Trump. And nothing,
Yeah, I know.
like past stuff that we already knew about him, like knowing that he was a playboy.
And everything that they accused Donald Trump of doing, Joe Biden has done.
Yeah, exactly. And Hillary Clinton's behind all of it. Trump completely exposed them.
Did not expect that one. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
didn't expect it either. I opened up Twitter one day and I saw that he was talking about Hillary Clinton. I was like, oh my goodness. It's like,
Yeah,
golly.
it's messed up. I mean,
Yeah.
I almost wish some of that stuff wasn't true. I mean, probably for most
Oh.
of you, wish it wasn't true, right? But
Yeah. Just some of the things you hear that Hillary's done, it's absolutely sickening. And the fact that she isn't even going through hearings in jail or trial right now, it's
she got out of the ones that I think she was supposed to go through in
in
September.
September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Hillary or Hunter, you know.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think, unless Trump puts major steps into it, gets everyone on it, I don't think Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, I don't think any, or Obama, I don't think any of them will ever go to jail just because of their last names. They have so much power.
I think Hunter
I would
Biden.
hope that they wouldn't.
I think
Hunter Biden, maybe.
Hunter Biden has a better chance.
But like people that have been power, like Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Hillary, and Bill, I don't see them going to jail. I just don't. This stuff has been revolving around them for years, and nobody's done anything about it.
Well, if it's not in this administration, I mean,
Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know who it's gonna be under. That'd be an absolute move of God.
I think if anything, if Trump gets reelected, which I think he will, I think there's bigger chances of them all being put in jail. But I don't. If Joe Biden gets elected, obviously nothing's going to be pushed against him. So it's kind of sad. So here. This is coming from a liberal. What is one good thing Trump has actually done?
One good thing, just one.
Just list one, and in all caps, she said "actually done."
And
Here, we'll all take turns. I'll start us out. The First Step Act.
that's exactly what I was
Peace in the Middle East.
All right.
Any of his executive orders. Any of them.
Yeah. Dude, he's done so much good things for this country. I mean, you got to think like the low unemployment rate for everyone, not like all minorities, whites, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, women as well. I mean, you look at that. I mean, low unemployment all across the board.
Yeah, and I think that was important because people were saying that, Trump gets elected, like life is over. I don't know if y'all remember that prior to the election, but the fear mongering started before he, was elected.
Oh,
And
the
so
whole impeachment.
the president can't have too much control over that kind of stuff. Not sure how true that is, but what they said about him did not, carry out about life ending because of Trump.
Absolutely not. Yeah. I mean, you see all these big politicians like Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden calling them like all these things racist, homophobic, xenophobic. I mean,
Oh, man.
I was watching a video that I think you reposted from Grayson Coates on Instagram today. Yeah,
My boy.
Grayson's awesome, bro. I talk to him every now and then. He's
Yeah.
a really cool guy. But what was I gonna say? It was Bernie Sanders calling him a homophobe, and it was all of Trump's accomplishments for the LGBT community.
Hmm.
I mean, appointing Richard Grenell. I mean, he promised to cure the AIDS epidemic in 10 years, like with his administration, putting scientists on that, and then he's the first president to openly go into the White House supporting the LGBT community. I have videos on my phone of Obama and Hillary and Biden saying that it's a civil union between a man and a woman.
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly so much. There's so much that Trump has done good that I didn't even know all of it. Grayson, he posted another video. It was like 5, 6, 10 minutes long, just of stuff that Trump's done, because
Yeah.
people want to know. So even this year alone, the executive order on policing, at least helping try to get the bill that Tim Scott was looking at finished, but of course Dem shot that down.
Yeah. The police reform bill.
Human trafficking. Huh?
The police reform bill, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. So he got of course, the executive order. That's him. But then the police reform bill, he was trying to be helpful with that one, according to Tim Scott. But they shot that down. And then there's like his work on human trafficking through executive order.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Jackson, do you want to follow up on that?
No, I mean, I think it's pretty interesting how Tim Scott can write a whole entire police reform bill as an African American man, and then Dick Durbin and Nancy Pelosi will refuse to work with him on it or sign that legislation from an African American. And I think
he gave them like 19
amendments. Yeah, exactly. If we do want to see change in this country, I don't know why African Americans aren't saying like, look, we were trying to solve that problem. The Democrats were the one that shot it down.
Mm-hmm. I see a lot of people telling me, they go, it's like Democrats saying, we need police reform. Why hasn't Trump done anything about that? I was like, Trump signed the executive order to have police reform. I mean, Democrats are the ones who shot it down. You can't be sitting here telling me that Democrats for real want a serious change to the police and then they go and shut it down. Like,
yeah, it's frustrating too because Tim Scott gave them every opportunity that they needed, to work across the board on that bill. Every opportunity, and their excuse was still it's not good enough. Basically, like you cannot use that excuse when you're given the opportunity to look at anything that you want to change, and then you say no. It's our way or the highway. Like
it's because
that's like they're fascists.
It's because they want power. I mean, Democrats really just want power. I legit think the Democratic politicians. I think Trump is one of the first politicians in general in a while that has actually cared about the American people more than themselves. Like, you look at people like Barack Obama, war criminal. He kept putting like, dude, he kept putting our soldiers in wars that weren't needed. Like,
yeah, for the last couple of decades, I think that started. You can go back to what, Bush?
Yeah,
like the endless wars since that administration. I could be wrong.
Man, it's crazy. Yeah. Trump's the first president to ever stop, to ever have peace in the Middle East. So, we can go on to the next question. What is your stance on pronouns? I think we can make this one real quick. I mean, I don't care at all.
But just don't make it like hate speech to not call you by your pronouns, like Canada.
And don't make it like a crime, like in New York City, where you can get like a ticket for misgendering someone.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, look, if you want to call yourself a different gender, I don't care. But don't get mad at me if I'm gonna, because like obviously I look at you and I assume you're a male. I mean, I assume everybody's gender when I see them. If I'm wrong and you want to be called something else, don't yell at me and tell me it's hate speech. Literally just say, actually, I go by this, and I'll say, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's so funny that people are signing laws to make it illegal. Like,
and praise God, we live in the United States, where that will never like fully happen.
Yeah.
By the grace of God, it won't fully happen.
Yeah. Can Christians be pro-choice? We basically already covered that topic. Kind of. Do you want to talk about it, Owen?
I mean, it'd be like a long spiel, but I think we got close enough. I think Jackson almost hinted at where I was coming from with it. That pro-choice Christians are either ignorant or they're what we would say aren't like good Christians. Like if a Christian's a follower of Christ, you're supposed to imitate Christ and you believe the core doctrines of the faith, right? So if you're not following some of the teachings of the faith, that even if they're not core doctrines, if you're not doing your best to imitate Christ, then obviously you would That's what we wouldn't call like a good Christian. Of course, there's no one who's good. Everyone's
Yeah,
flawed.
obviously everyone sins, obviously.
But yeah, so I mean, I think what Jackson said is true. They're misinterpreting scripture. So they're hopefully ignorant on the issue and not just callous on the issue.
Yeah. I don't know too much about this. If you guys want to talk about it, you can. Do you think climate change is real?
Loaded question.
Yeah, no, it's very loaded because, I mean, climate change is probably real, but I guess as a Christian, I believe it's something natural God has put in place for us. I don't think God's going to end the world. So, well, obviously Jesus could come back. I mean,
Yeah,
you know it.
I think the climate is changing. I mean, through the past, we've seen the Earth go through warming and cooling periods. So this could easily just be warming period that we're seeing right now. And so I think if we keep looking at the science and keep looking at the past, we can integrate past science and apply it to the present science of now and say, look, this could just a warming period like we've had in the past.
Yeah, climate change, like how I feel on it, like obviously I think climate change is real, but I don't agree with AOC. I don't think the Earth is going to end in 13 years. I mean, I couldn't see.
Yeah, those are some really generous estimates.
Yeah. And I don't think it's worth necessarily crippling the entire economy over a Green New Deal. I don't believe we need to be rushing or
Yeah,
it's so politicized for me. That's the issue, because it's like we can all say that we want to preserve this planet, right, for us and for future generations to come, just the well-being of the planet in and of itself, right? But that doesn't entail every single thing that the left wants to do with that, because we can say again that we need to do a better job, but that doesn't mean, as you were saying, Noah, that people are the sole cause, and to an extent that the Earth is dying, ever since that means within our lifetime or in the next decade, as some people are saying. I think that's generous, even though there are studies apparently that say that.
Yeah, I know. By the way, y'all can hear me just fine through the mic, right? Like,
yes.
All right, cool. I was just making sure.
Yeah.
Do we want to go on to the next question, or do y'all have any follow-ups on that?
We can go on to the next one. I'm cool with that.
All right. What is one good thing that will happen if Biden wins?
One good thing that would happen.
I'm really trying to think. I'm trying to think on this.
It's hard to think of something that's like actually like tangible, like a good thing that happened. I would say one thing that we would most likely see less of is like the fear mongering in the media, because Trump's gone, so that won't be a topic 24/7 at least.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of a policy of his that I think would work for America.
Well, you pay more attention to climate change. Is that for better or worse, though?
I think the best thing he would do for the American people, and I think it would be African Americans. I've heard that he regrets the 1990 crime bill, so I do believe that he may work to try to reverse that even further, like build off of what the Trump administration has done. I'm not positive that he'll do that, but I think it's something that he's regretted and he knows it, and like the media has even given him some pushback for supporting that 1994 crime bill. And for that, he have to. I think that's something that, yeah, exactly. I think that if he won, that's something that he would have to do.
Yeah, I think his exact words about it was a mistake. He said the 1994 crime bill was a mistake and he should have never done it. So
that was the first time I think I'd heard him say that. He said that in a debate, was it, or was that a interview?
I think it was a debate.
He said it.
Because I want to say that was like one of the first times I ever heard him say that. Because in other interviews and stuff, he denied it being something that he regretted entirely, at least. But if he got elected, he would have to. The Democrats would have to do something. If they didn't, then they would not win the next 2 or 3 elections.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I think I found out why Democrats really wanted early voting. Did you hear what Biden said on? Did you hear what Biden said on fossil fuels?
Yeah, that he would ban fracking.
Yeah.
Mm.
Do you know how many people? Do you know how much money goes through fracking and fossil fuels? Do you know how many people would lose their jobs if you ban
Yeah.
fracking? Like
Mm.
they want
Yeah.
they want early voting because they knew if they had heard this, if people, because I guarantee there are people that work in the fossil fuel system and they voted for Joe Biden. I guarantee if they had heard what he said in the debate, their vote would have changed. I mean, their jobs are dependent on it.
Yeah.
So now we gotta switch over to Instagram to get the rest of the questions that I got. All right. First question: abortion justifications, SCOTUS, Supreme Court Justice. Yeah, it says abortion, Supreme Court of the United States justifications, and why are leftists so dumb? That's one question. That's one question.
Yeah, I think they put in like 2 or 3 or 4.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a really broad question. We can go to a different one. Why do liberals think President Trump is racist? Where's their evidence behind it? I think that's kind of a loaded question, but I think it's something you can definitely talk about. I mean, so obviously Trump has said some questionable things in the past. I mean, I think we can all agree on that. I mean, I think we can all agree everyone in their life has said questionable things in the past. I mean, obviously we're not all perfect people. So, but I think they're misinterpreted, and I don't think they're necessarily racist, as they're just flat out stupid. I think you know what I'm saying, like, especially when sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I mean, some things I have to say about my reasoning on why I don't think Trump's racist is, I mean, I have a 10-minute video of him just constantly condemning white supremacy on different occasions. I mean, you look at some of his policies and some of his things that he's done for every minority. I mean, you just got to think about some of those things. I mean, I think you can. What was that?
Oh,
Jackson. Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, I think a lot of things are taken out of context at the media. I think that the media just takes things that he says and like cuts it off before he says something else, or they try to make people misinterpret what he's saying, even though what he's saying is something positive. It's just taken the wrong way by the media, or not taken the wrong way by the media. It's taken and out to the people, and the people put it in the wrong way, and they don't get the full story, the full backstory, and the full context of what he was saying.
Like when the media just put in quotes, there were fine people on both sides. That was an Instagram post going viral. I saw a bunch of liberals reposting, and it's like everything wrong Trump has said. I literally saw black people are thugs, all Mexicans are rapists, and that I saw there were fine people on both sides. I know. If you look at the quote where it says there were fine people on both sides, if you look at that, if you watch that whole speech, he goes, there are fine people on both sides, but I'm not talking about the neo-Nazis or the white nationalists, because they should be condemned totally. Like things like that the media just blatantly takes out of context, or just doesn't even. They just literally cut it. It's not like they're taking it out of context. They're literally just cutting it out.
Narrative. Yeah, it doesn't fit their narrative at all.
Look, I mean, find a reasoning why you don't like Trump. I mean, look up some policies why you don't like Trump, but don't just bring up these media taken out of context things, like this bullcrap that the media takes out of context.
Yes, bro, it's like such a cope right now for too many liberals, and I try to separate it. I say like rad lib instead of liberals so often because I know that there are some liberals out there. They might still believe those things about Trump, but they could justify it better than some of the things that. Like, there's no reason for you to still believe the very fine people on both sides thing.
Or the all black people are thugs.
Never said that either. But and it's so frustrating. Again, because I used to be on the left, and I like to think I was still rational back then, right? And I can understand someone like I think political MJ or who are some other good like leftist or liberal.
That liberal guy. I would say American Hannah, but no.
Hey, let's not dog anybody. Let's just let's just talk about
Victoria,
people that we, think are
Victoria
pretty.
Hammett, typical Democrat. They
One of
all,
Victoria Hammett's friends, she's actually a pretty good one. I can't remember her name. I just followed her the other day, but she's pretty far with it. I'll give her that. And it's like some of these people, are very rational when it comes to judging Trump, and not so emotional with just whatever they heard, and that sounding bad, and them rolling with whatever the media gives them, and it's incredibly frustrating.
oh yeah, it's so annoying. Jackson, if you want to follow up on that, because I know we kind of just went off and didn't let you talk.
Oh no. I think what I was just saying is like usually how I see it is that the media just misinterprets, or not misinterprets, but the media cuts certain aspects of his clips and of his quotes and then pushes it out to the public, and they try to pass it off as this is what it says, even though it's really not. And they leave out facts that are important to certain situations that people point to say that Donald Trump is.
And now that people believe Trump to be racist, they like interpret every suspect thing that he says in that sort of context. So it's like the snowball effect almost. Everything doubles down on itself, which is a shame.
Yeah, absolutely. We can move on to the next question if y'all ready. I think we covered that topic pretty well. So here's I think this is a pretty good. It's a pretty good question. Would you consider leaving the country if Biden was elected? Here's how I look at it. I wouldn't leave America because right now I still believe America. I'm 16, so I just can't. But I also I believe America's like the land of the free. It's really nice. It's a nice country and stuff like that. Obviously, I think Joe Biden would do some bad things to it. But instead of just leaving at first, unless it just got horrible, I'd pray that Joe Biden did a good job with this country. I wouldn't whine about it. The result of the election is what it is, and I no matter who wins, they're still my president, and I want my president to succeed. I don't want him to do poorly, no matter what political party affiliates himself with. So,
Yeah. Nice.
I would never consider leaving the country. I don't think there's a country that's better than America. I might not agree with who's leading the country, but at the end of the day, that if that's what the American people, if that's who the American people elected to lead the country, then they should to lead the country. It's not. I'm not the only one deciding here, so I definitely I would have a set of morals, and we still have people who think the way that us three still think and perceive the country. And I think by doing what we're doing and spreading our message and stuff like that, like over social media, to understand like conservative values. I think it's a rebirth of the Republican Party and conservatism if Joe Biden's elected. I think we'll see it in the next election cycle.
For me, I look at it as like every empire eventually falls, right? So America will not last forever, as much as we might want it to for, I guess, its values. It's at some point not going to live up to those in such a way as to maybe not be redeemable, for like years and years on end. So socialism and communism or whatever would not be based. Any of that would not be based, or like mega like fascist tendencies would not be based. None of it. So if America has in its entirety like devolved into California, like if Newsom was elected and there was nothing that we could do, we fought for it, and I mean it just started going down the drain. If I had the opportunity to find somewhere that was better than whatever state America was in, I would take it.
I mean, I think before I think before socialism or communism ever hit America, I think before that ever happens, I think there'd be a civil war. I don't think anybody on the right would take it from him. I mean, I know personally, my dad's not having his. I know he's not ever going to let his guns or freedoms or anything be taken away from him. So,
yeah.
There will be a civil war before communism takes over America.
I don't know where I look into where I go, but I definitely consider it.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. I'm trying to get the best questions first. You know what I'm saying? What do you think would happen if Joe Biden ended up winning the presidency?
Well, I mean, I think we probably see probably less stuff getting done.
Yeah.
Unless other stuff started to flip in government as well. But just like Biden winning, I think we start seeing more gridlock on some of the policies that he want to implement. Like in any of his gun policies, I think he'd have a tough time getting those through.
Absolutely. I was talking to someone last night on Omegle. I was doing Omegle debates last night. So someone said Joe Biden's more pro Second Amendment than Trump. I was like, they go, he doesn't want to take, she goes, Joe Biden doesn't want to take away any of Trump's, Joe Biden doesn't want to take away any of our guns. He just wants to put safer restrictions on them. And then I go, all right, so you don't think Biden wants to take away AR-15s? She goes, absolutely not. Yeah, she goes, absolutely not. So I go to Joe Biden's campaign platform and I search gun policy, and it says right in bold, in 1994, I believe Joe Biden banned a 10-year period on AR-15s, and he wants to reinstate that.
And make it stronger.
Yeah, I know. That's just ignorance at its finest. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy. I mean, I think if Joe Biden did win, I think you would start seeing a crash in the economy because he wants more government control and in the economy. I think you're going to see the national debt skyrocket because he's going to want to implement free Biden care, whatever. He's going to implement Biden care.
I really wonder what the debt would have been like if they were in power during this pandemic, because they were wanting to give people $3,000 a month, for the duration of the year, something crazy like that.
Oh yeah, it's crazy that they talk about how Trump did so poorly with COVID. Yet when Trump closed the country down from China, where COVID came from, they what was it? They called him xenophobic, and Pelosi said it was outrageous and un-American.
He was in the streets, bro. She was like, "Come out to Chinatown."
Yeah, I know, it was crazy. I mean, I think you guys all saw that video I made where the guy was like, "Bitch, shut the f up" or something like that. Like y'all saw where he said that to me, and he was like,
I think so.
I just completely destroyed him. It's like stupid stuff like that, like just pure ignorance to the facts that Trump took COVID seriously. Trump did all these amazing things for our country. I think pure ignorance to it is what makes people not respect the left that are on the right. I think obviously I have a respect for everyone and I'm not going to hate on anybody, but I think when you're just purely ignorant to facts, I don't respect ignorance, if you know what I mean. So yeah. Jackson, do you have any follow up on that? What Joe Biden, what he would do if what would happen if he won?
I mean, we've already seen try to mention that makes it easier to remove a president by the 25th Amendment. I wouldn't put it past the Democratic Party to try to remove Joe Biden with the 25th Amendment and make Kamala Harris president. It wouldn't surprise me whatsoever, but I think with the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, I think with Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court, though, we're going to see more I guess we're going to see more checks of because if that it will take that up and
You there, buddy?
Yeah. Did I cut?
All right. Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. I was just going to say with the with like the confirmation of Amy Coney Barrett, I think that happening makes it a lot harder. It would make it a lot harder for Nancy Pelosi to remove anybody with the 25th.
Hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. I mean,
She could be the gift that legit keeps on giving. Like if Trump actually does lose this
Yeah.
election,
yeah,
imagine like just potentially what life would be like if she wasn't,
yeah.
confirmed. I don't know.
All right, so this is a pretty good question, I think. Early voting and the high percent of folks already voting. Do you think that's good for Trump or Biden? I think that's amazing for Trump because if you look at some of the biggest swing states like Minnesota in particular, with all the early voting that is already in mail-in ballots that have already been counted, I mean, Joe Biden and Trump are neck and neck right now in Minnesota, and most Trump supporters are going to be voting in November 3rd. So, I mean, you look at that, like I think that's crazy. I mean, I can send y'all a link later tonight if y'all want, but
Yeah, I have to look at that.
yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Wake Up America, if you know him, Everett, he made a video about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy because he lives in Minnesota and he said he's voting for Trump just because it's a swing state. He wants to see it go red because he thinks Trump would be better than Biden, even though he's more independent.
I think there are potentially some issues with mail-in voting.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in to the polls, it's pretty much sure that your vote's going to get counted. And if something does happen, you're always able to fix it like right there on the spot. They'll wait with you for however long you need to get it fixed, for the most part. So if we were to say that it had mostly harmful effects somehow, then it would mostly harm Democrats because Democrats are like, what is it, 3 times more likely to vote by mail?
Yeah.
So I guess this would be like a net positive for Trump.
Yeah, I
Even
can
though
see this.
I wish I kind of wish more people would wait though, because like who knows what the chances are of something actually happening to your ballot in the mail. But I think that especially like the debates, it was decently clear that Trump won, and I think that could have been convincing, especially this last one for a lot of people. And hopefully they wouldn't. Hopefully they haven't already voted.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that completely. I think if people that have voted early, I think if they'd watched all the elections, or all the debates, my fault. I think if they had watched all the debates, you would have seen a lot of people flipping their vote from Biden to Trump because you saw, especially in that most recent debate, Biden said some stupid stuff, like some horribly stupid.
As long as they didn't have TDS, like full-on Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah.
I think if there was a chance, it would have had to been something like that, or something that comes out, I don't know, in the next like 6 days about Biden. Other than that, that'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all want to go through it because Jackson told me he's got 1 hour to do this. Do y'all want to go through one more question and we can call it?
Jackson.
All right.
Yeah.
Let me see. What do you consider, or no, my fault. I was wondering if you think minors' checks should be taxed on from their jobs. So if you're like under the age of 18, should you be taxed if you have a job or something? I think that's what I'm getting from that. I mean, the exact quote in this is the last question. Like we've answered every question. It says, I was wondering if you think minors' checks should be taxed on from their jobs. So
why not? Why wouldn't they be taxed? I know some people who don't care about taxes at all. They're like, no one should be taxed. But why wouldn't they be?
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't be. I mean, they're working for a business that has to pay taxes. Why wouldn't they have to pay taxes? I mean, yeah, I think they should. I mean, they're working the same job.
I mean, they're already paying, what sales tax? You go shop like anywhere.
Yeah.
You're paying some tax.
Yeah, I mean,
I think there's some states.
I don't know what the sales tax in Alabama is because I know you're from Bama. I don't know where you're from, Jackson. I think Chicago, but I don't know where the what the sales tax is for you guys there, but I know this. What? Well, like I was saying, I don't know what the sales tax is for y'all there, but it's like 6% here. Oh, okay. If you go down to like Tennessee, it's like 10% there. It's like the sales tax changes everywhere, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I think there are a lot of taxes fraud. I think you need some taxes to pay for like something. Like I don't think all forms of taxation is theft, but I'm not really what?
I was gonna say I don't either, but maybe a better question might have been how do you think taxes should go like across the board for Americans? Do you think we should have the progressive tax, that gets higher with your income? Do you think like a flat tax across the board, or what do y'all think?
I mean, how I feel on it is I think two of the taxes that I believe should be abolished is the sales tax. I mean, it's like you see one price. It's like they don't have a sales tax in Australia. I mean, it's just whatever the price tag says, that's what it is. If it's $15, it's $15. I think sales tax is stupid. I think the most stupid tax out there is the income tax. Getting taxed on what you make, I think it's so stupid. But that's just my opinion. I don't know too much on taxes.
Jackson. I think it goes up again. I would say maybe like 10% across the board. I don't think that is ethical. Someone else be paying more than someone else in taxes. Not based on what they're, giving because of their income, but based on how much the government values, them by saying if you make, over 400,000, we want to tax you 60%. Like,
yeah,
bro.
I think that's wrong. I think that's pure definition of theft. I mean, you see, like people like Cardi B. She is not smart, but I mean, she completely thinks taxation is theft. I don't know why she's telling people to vote for Biden though. So like,
yeah, he's about to take her money.
Yeah, no, like big time. She said something about if you want to make $500,000 and you make over the money you make. She said if you make $500,000, you have to be making $1 million to do it. She said she thinks that's wrong. I don't know why she's telling people to vote for Biden. Biden's just going to make it worse. I really don't know the statistics behind all that, but I do know if she wants her taxes lowered, she shouldn't be voting for Biden.
Yeah, Cardi B.
Candace Owens smacked her, bruh. Candace Owens destroyed her. You made a video on it as well.
Man. Be careful who you get your information from, folks. That's all I have to say. Be very, very careful. Please do not listen to artists. Like, don't do it.
Taylor Swift. All right, Jax, do you have anything to follow back up on that? I think you're back now.
I don't have anything. I agree with what you guys are saying.
All right. Well, I think this was a good talk. Thank you all for hopping on the podcast thing. Wish John could have been here with us, but I definitely think we had good conversations. It was really nice. It was pretty good. So, no.
Yeah, thank you for the invite. We'd love to be back on in the future, maybe after the election if y'all don't have anything booked. It might be something to talk about there. So
yeah, I know we're trying to get. I know that I reached out to Aubrey Moore, the owner of the Republican House. I know I reached out to her. Dude, I have her on Snapchat, so like I talk to her every now and then I'm trying to get Eli, Eli from part of the Republican Boys. So I'm trying to get him on there. I snapped him, so
I'll be in attendance. Just let me know. But thank you again.
Yeah, I got you.
I can